Our political system is made up of the citizens, parties and political movements, the political constitution, the structure of the power of the state, the branches of public power. Each of these parties will have working with a role, a function to complete with the operating system. For example, citizens must be democratic. You cannot lose the ability to decide. The citizens, all through they are part of the state. They are the central element of politicals because they are the primary constituent. As such, they participate in decisions that seek to improve Colombian society. Political parties and movements, they are the organization of people who are related to those who aspire to participate in public power. The political constitution it is the set of fundamental principles and the rules that govern our country. The structure of the state power. The structure is made up of the branches of public power, that is, the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. The Ministry of Mobility establishes a limit of 30 trips per month, with a discount of 10% in the value of each ticket, as a subsidy to users of the elderly of the integrated public transport system. It is expected that in the first semester of the year, the integral route for older adults will be ready, which will integrate all the services of the different areas to provide health, culture, recreation, sports, education, mobility, and economic development, especially for the most vulnerable. The goal is to open in this year at least 10-day centers, which offer specialist care with a preventive and rehabilitation purpose to the elderly with some degree of physical or cognitive impairment, Alzheimer's, sensory and mobility disability. The joint manufacturing sector to the agricultural sector have behaved as one of the main engines of economic development last year, taking over from the once buoyant mining energy sector. The unemployment subsidy is understood as an alternative for people who have stopped working. This benefit is granted by the family compensation funds of the country and by some financial entities. To have access to the subsidy in the compensation funds is necessary to comply with the requirements, such as being the head of the family at the present time. It is not necessary to be affiliated at the time of requesting the subsidy. All the heads of household who all the time of the employees have a lot of children under 18 disabled parents or siblings have the right to request the subsidy. It's important to note that it's not necessary for a person to have been affiliated with a compensation fund to access the benefit. Current migration policy. The structure of the current Colombian migration policy has international agreements and instruments as was previously noted. At the national level, the fundamental instruments which will be examined below are the following: the Integral Migration Policy (PAM) document compass that regulates the national migration system, laws that regulate the return, and Decree 1067 of 2015, unique regulatory decree of the administrative sector of foreign affairs, which regulates, among others, the migratory flows entering the country. The Colombian public health is conceived as the set of policies that seek, as integrated response, the health of the population in the middle of health action directed both individually and collectively, and its results are integrated into the indicators of the condition of life, well-being, and development of the country. This action will be carried out under the director of the state and promote the responsible participation of all sectors of the community. With the framework of the general system of social security in health, the publication health has among its objectives the strengthening of the institutional capacity of management and the management of the characteristics and condition of human results in health, and the pressures of ongoing research processes to involve individual and collective health conditions. The identification system is dedicated to beneficiaries of social programs. SISBEN is a tool that classifies individuals according to the standard of living and allows the technical objective, uniform and equitable selection of the beneficiaries of the social programs that follow the state according to its particular sociological condition. If a person has been identified as a potential beneficiary of social program, that is to say that the level is between 1 or 3. She will be able to access the subsidies granted by the state through the different programs. In accordance with the regulation of each one of them, they lie held through the subsidy to the demand of the affiliation to the subsidized regime or to the subsidy of the offer is to the attention to the network. Employment subsidies, elderly living place, conditional subsidies, education credit, children breakfast. In Colombia, education is defined as a process of permanent formation, cultural and social personnel that is based on an integral conception of the human person, their dignity, their rights, and their duties. Education for work and human development are offered mainly by official institutions and private institutions such as SENA, among others. The programs offered are conducive to degrees at technical levels and in specific areas and focus mainly on training so that experts in specific areas to the different work activities according to the National Classification of Occupations. The main agriculture of the Institution of Education for Work and Human Development is what has been the great article of the reforms of education for the work. Like the Law 1064 of 2006, it regulates the organization, the offer and operation of the provision of the education for work and human development service and other provisions. After 3 years of having implemented the policies about the creation of day center for the old people, the health will have been improving for this person because they will have possibility to do exercise every day and other activities that develop their mental abilities, and this allow that ills like Alzheimer and degenerative disease. After 3 years of having implemented the policies about the development of the agronomy industry, we will have found better job opportunities in this area and the farmers get economic benefits to improve this farmer. Also, our products will have been sent to other countries and people around the world know the name of Colombia for the quality of our products. After 3 years of having implemented the policies about the education system, we will have found our students more motivated to the knowledge because the government proposed the change of the methodology and students will have learning on different ways using platforms to improve their abilities on didactic classes. After 3 years of having implemented the policies about health, more people in vulnerable conditions will have using the health service in free way, and more professionals can link up to the system for help to the community.